on the love of God. The love of God. You enjoy it? Good. The love of God. And I told us it's going to be a series. It's not something we will just stop there. But this morning, we are continuing that. We are going to talk on loving God. We have talked on the love of God. Now it's time for us to talk on loving God. How do we love God back? Because love is not a one-way thing. If I love you, of course, you must love me back. That is when love is fulfilled. So loving God. What is all to loving God? Why do we have to love God? Why is it that we can't just allow that God to keep loving us? Why should we have to reciprocate? You see, when we say we are loving God, we are reciprocating love. Now, let's go into Matthew 22. Matthew chapter 22. Please, I just want you to give me your total attention. Like I said it last Sunday, one of the things the Lord is strongly laying emphasis upon, if you have the Spirit of God, is that the Lord is saying that, look, we should restore the doctrine of Christ in the church. Honestly, we are going to restore back the true gospel of Christ. The gospel they are giving us today in the church is a stale gospel. The gospel of prosperity, the gospel of the claim and receive, the gospel of seed sowing. All these gospel are not biblical. They are memorial gospel. The gospel of give God something. All these gospel are not biblical gospels. They are not the doctrine of Christ. All this gospel of sow something. If you sow 5 naira, God will give you 100 naira. God is not a vending machine. God is not a casino, for God's sake. God is not a casino. We are prostituting God. We are painting God bad. Even in the presence of unbeliever, we are giving a wrong picture of God. We are killing the effectiveness of this thing called Christianity. And so this, and so that, and if you give this, if you give that, and God cannot bless you, and provoke God with this, provoke God with money. God is not a money-hungry God. The essence why Jesus Christ died is not for us to, it's not for trade and barter thing. The essence why Jesus Christ came is not for exchange, it's not for money exchange thing. So why are we so engrossed in all these wrong messages? So we are going back to the doctrine, the core of the doctrine of Christ. Praise the Lord. Matthew 22. Verse 35 to 40. Let me quickly read. Are you there? Okay, I read. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question. That is Jesus, tempting him, saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord your God with all of your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love your neighbor as yourself. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and prophet. Look at this. Look at this scripture. You know, one of the greatest chief and greatest purpose why we are on the face of this earth is for us to love God. The greatest purpose why we are on the face of the earth is for us to love God. And you know, loving God, when we say loving God is not a suggestion. Loving God is not a supposition. Loving God is not a persuasion or an ideology. When we say loving God, we are not trying to persuade people. Loving God is a commandment, a stipulated commandment. Loving God is a stipulated commandment. In fact, it's the first and the greatest commandment. The first and the greatest commandment is loving God. Loving God is an instinct that flows naturally from the setting of our heart. Loving God is a natural thing. We don't work it up. We don't cook it up. It's not something that we try to impress. It's something that flows naturally from us. Loving God is not a feeling. It's not an emotion. But loving God is a passion. It's an obsession. It's an intoxication. Loving God is supposed to intoxicate you. And that is why until your love for God becomes an obsession or an intoxication or a passion, then you are not truly loving God. Until your love for God, until that love possesses you, overwhelms you, swallow you up, you are not truly loving God. And against this backdrop, Jesus Christ talking in this passage of the Bible. Look at what Jesus Christ is saying. He said, love your God with all of your heart, your soul, and your mind. Love your God with all of your heart. Not part of your heart, not part of your mind. Love your God with all of your heart, your soul, and your mind. In other words, love your God with everything in you. Let everything in you respond in succession, loving God. Loving God is an obsession. Loving God is supposed to be an overwhelmed. That is when you are truly loving God. The secret of our success and genuine happiness in life as the people of God is predicated on how well we love God. The secret of our success and our genuine happiness in life is only built or hinges on how well we love God. We can only fulfill the second commandment. For us to fulfill the second commandment, and what is the first commandment? The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. Until you genuinely love God, you cannot love your neighbor as yourself. And that is why people struggle to love. Because they have not taken time to establish a right, loving relationship with God. They've not established it. Until you truly love God, believe me, you cannot love anybody. You don't have to struggle to love. The reason why people struggle to love is because they have not known what is all to the love of God. They have not known what is all to the love of God. You know, there is nothing religious about loving God. There is nothing religious when it comes to loving God. Loving God is more than going to church. Loving God is more than praying. Loving God is more than reading Bible. Loving God is more than giving offering and tithe. Loving God. Loving God is more than serving God. Loving God is more than pastoring. Loving God is more than fulfilling one spiritual obligation or the other. Loving God is more than that. Because if you ask people now, do you love God? Yes, I love God. Why do you know you love God? I go to church. No. Loving God is more than going to church. Going to church does not mean that you love God. Praying does not mean that you love God. Giving your offering and your tithe does not mean that you love God. Serving God in one capacity or the other does not mean that you love God. Because if going to church means that you love God, then sinners go to church, drug addicts go to church, lesbians go to church, homosexual goes to church, atheists go to church, All these people will tell you that, oh, I'm going to church because I love God, but they don't go to church because they love God. They go to church because they have a problem and they want God to fix it. So going to church does not mean that you love God. Can I shock you more? Giving offering and tithe does not mean that you love God. Honestly. Because people give not out of love, but out of compulsion and fear. If God has not promised open heaven, people will not be giving the way they are giving. And that is why you will see that many churches, the way they force people to give, especially their tithe, is to always scare them with the devourer. God will send devourer, and nobody wants a devourer, so you just have to give. But that is not giving out of love. You don't love God. You are giving because somebody said give, and it shall be what? Giving back to you. Give, and it shall be given. Not even giving, a multiple fold. Take. You know, we've turned all these things to magician, abracadabra thing. So people don't give because they love God. Now, Pastor, you said that my going to church does not mean that I love God. So how do I now relate my going to church with my loving God? Loving God only motivates you to go to church. It's not the reason for going to church. Loving God only gives you a kind of a push or a kind of an impetus for you to go to. Something motivates you to come here, honestly. If nothing motivates you to come here, you will have said, no, I'm going. I don't even feel like going. Somebody called me yesterday. I said, oh, please, when it's time for church, come and pick me at home. I got to their house. By the time I got to the house, he just said, please tell the pastor, I don't feel like going anymore. What can you do? What can you do? So something will always motivate us to go to church. Something motivates us to serve God. Something motivates us to give to God. And that thing that is motivating you to give to God is the love of God. You love God. And that thing is what is pushing you. You want to go extra for God. You want to be everything for God. It's that thing that is motivating you. But it's not the main reason. Praise the Lord. Now, how best can we love God? Or how truly do we really love God? What does it even mean when we say we love God? What are we even trying to say? You know, I work in a place many years ago. I have one guy there. Any little thing, we are talking like this. I love God. I love God. Oh, me, I love God. Oh. One day I said, no, bro, what is all this? I love God. I love God. Do you have to tell us that you love God? No, you don't have to tell us that you love God. You show it and we will see. Love is not in talking. Love is in action. So how do you know, or how can we truly love God? Or how best do we love God? John 15. John 15. Please just give me your total attention. What we are doing now is that we are going back to the elementary teachings in the Bible. Well, you know all these things, but we are refreshing our memories. Because there's one thing, and I said it earlier, the church is the church has diverted. The church has left the central message. The church has veered into the bush, saying wrong things. Honestly, if you are current on the internet and you see the mess people are doing with this Christianity, you feel like crying. This is not the Christianity Jesus died for. This is not the Christianity. You even see preacher preaching and you say, do you even read Bible? Is this Bible? This is not Bible, for God's sake. This is not Bible. You are just feeding your greed. You are just trying to feed your greed. This is not Bible. John 15. John 15, verse 9 to 10. Please, let's quickly take John 15, 9 to 10. If you are there, you can read it for us. Okay, I'm there. Are you there? Okay. If you keep my commandment, Jesus is talking, you shall abide in my love. Even as I have kept my Father's commandment and abide in his love. Look at this. If you keep my commandment, you shall abide in my love. Even as I have kept the commandment. In fact, let's narrow it down from verse to verse 9. Let's take it from verse 9. As the Father has loved me. So what happened? So have I loved you. Now, what is Jesus Christ saying? As the Father has loved me. In other words, the same way the Father showed love to me. My Father showed love to me. And the same love I am showing to you. Continue in my love. Continue in that same love. Continue that trend. Don't let that trend be broken. The same love I received from the Father, I don't even alterate it. I just hand it over to you. You to start passing it to others like that. Undiluted. Continue in my love. One translation says, remain in that same love. Remain in that same love. Now verse 10. If you keep my commandment, you shall abide in my love. Somebody said, how do I remain in that love? Keep my commandment. As I have kept my Father's commandment and abide in his law. If you look at Jesus, Jesus Christ did not ask us to do what he did not do. Jesus Christ did not ask us to do something different. Because we have got to a level whereby some people even have more revelation than even Jesus himself. As I have kept my Father's commandment and I dwell in his love, you too dwell. Keep that commandment and dwell in that love. To dwell simply means to remain, to settle, to be established. Be established in that law. You know, loving God simply entails knowing God. When we say loving God, what do we mean by loving God? Loving God simply means knowing God. Loving God simply means growing in the knowledge of God. You cannot love somebody you don't know, honestly. You cannot love somebody you don't know. And for you to love somebody, then you have to take conscious effort to know that person. It must be an intentional thing. You can love somebody. When I was in Nigeria, back home Nigeria, some of our youth, they went to report me at headquarters. And what is the basis? Oh, pastor, don't matchmake us. Pastor, don't matchmake us. I am not a matchmaking pastor. What I can do is that I can create a friendlier environment whereby you can interact, you can relate, you can exchange ideas. And in that process, you will be able to know each other. But for you to now expect me to bring brother A and match it with sister B, no. Because when problem starts, you will call back and say, it's the pastor. No. Peter said it in 1 Peter 3:7. He said, husband, dwell with your wife in knowledge. Dwell with your wife in knowledge. In other words, know your wife. Know the emotional makeup of your wife. Know the psychological makeup of your wife. Know her frame of mind. Know her weakness. Know her strength. Know her likes. Know her dislikes. Always know and be considerate that your wife is a weaker vessel. Many men don't know this. So you cannot love somebody until you first of all know him. Loving God means knowing God. You must know God for you to love God. You must grow in your knowledge of God for you to know God. The more you know God, the more you love God. Loving God is more than all this religious emotionalism, hysterism, and fanaticism we see all around us today. Without loving God, it is practically impossible for you to love God. It's practically impossible. How can you love somebody you don't know? How? I love God. I love God. I love God. Do you know him? Do you take time to know him? Do you know his mind? Do you know his will? Do you know his likes? Do you know his dislike? Do you know what he wants? Do you know what he doesn't want? The Bible says, can two work together except they do what? They agree. For you to work with me, you must know what I like. You must know what I don't like. So, loving God has so much to do with knowing God. When you know God, you will love God. For God is love. When you know God, you will know life. For God is life. The strength of our intimacy and closeness with God has so much to do with us knowing him more and more. The more you know him, the more you get closer to him. Honestly, when you know him, all that will matter is you to please him. When you know him, you will always want to please him. People that violate God, people that violate the instruction of God, they don't know God. They don't know God. The more you know him, the more you love him. The measure of your love for God is the measure of the knowledge of God you carry on the inside of you. That is the measure of your love for God. Now, let's delve more on what is all to knowing God. What is all to knowing God? Because we have to know him for us to be able to love him. Proverbs 1. Proverbs chapter 1. Proverbs chapter 1. Next Sunday, by the grace of God, we talk on loving yourself. The love of God, loving God. Now, we will now talk on loving yourself. In the scale, people put loving themselves first. They put the love of God second. And they put loving God last. That is the way they do it. Me. You know, some gospel now, we call it the gospel of self-love. When you check Facebook, people will take selfie. I love myself. No, it's not a balanced love. It's not a balanced love. I'm not saying you should not love yourself. I'm not saying that. Now, Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. Are we there? Proverbs 1:7. Please, if you are there, just read it for me to save time. Okay, I'm there. Now, oh, thank you. God bless you, man. Yep. The fear of the Lord. What happened to it? It's the beginning of knowledge. So what happened? Oh, God bless you. Thank you. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But you know one thing? The fear of the Lord is not knowledge. That is not knowledge. But the fear of the Lord is the starting point in your journey or process of knowledge. And which knowledge are we talking about? Knowing God. The knowledge of God. The fear of the Lord that sets you is what sets you on the right path of knowing God. How do I know that you are already, you are on the journey of knowing God? Let me see how much you fear God. Let me see how much you fear God. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but that is not knowledge. That is not knowledge. So when we say the knowledge of God is deep. It's a deep thing. You cannot know everything about God in a day. In fact, till you die, you keep knowing God. The day you stop knowing God, you start dying. You are out of extinction. You have expired. How can you claim you've known everything about God? The Bible said it in Isaiah 33 verse 6. It said, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your time, and the fear of God is his treasure. Wisdom and knowledge shall stabilize you. That is what will stabilize you. Your health, your money cannot stabilize you. Your educational background cannot stabilize you. Your knowledge cannot stabilize you. It is the knowledge of God you have that will stabilize you. It is how much of God you know that make all the difference. It is not what God knows about you, but what you know about God that make all the difference. So you have to crave to know more about God. Now let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 9. Jeremiah chapter 9. We are still talking on loving God, but we just want to see what is all to knowing God for us to now tie them together. Now Jeremiah chapter 9. Jeremiah chapter 9. Verse 23 to 24. Jeremiah 9, 23 to 24. I read. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. Why is the Bible giving us this admonition? Why is the Bible instructing us? The Bible is telling us all these things because your riches, your wealth, your might, they are temporal things. They are fleeting. They are ephemeral. They can't keep you. They can't sustain you. They don't have an enduring value. You can't build on that. Building on your wisdom, building on your wealth is building on a sinking ground. It can't keep you. If your wisdom can keep you, you don't need God. Honestly, you don't need God. If your might can do all the magic, you don't need God. So let him that to glory simply means let him that brag or let him that build confidence. Don't build confidence on all these things. They can't last the test of time. Don't build confidence on it. Now, verse 24. How do we now build our confidence? On what do we have to build our foundation? But let him that glorify. Let's read it together, please. Can we read it together as a church? Let's go. Uh-huh. 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 That what? With what? Loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the head. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord. Look at this. This is pure Bible. Let him that glory, or let him that brag, or let him that build confidence on this thing, that he knoweth and understandeth me. The basis of your confidence is not your money. It's not your car. It's not your house. The basis of your confidence is supposed to be, I know God. You should be able to say, I know God. If you don't know God, then your confidence in life is shattered. It's shattered. But what do people brag about this one? Money, cars, house. Number of days they have. No. Let him that glory in this thing, that he knoweth and understandeth. You know, one of the mistaken notion that religion sold to us, or the church sold to us, it's a mistaken notion, is the notion that it is practically impossible for you to know God. Or trying to know God is a difficult thing. Don't try to know God. That is what the church and religion is telling us today. Many places they will tell you, oh, knowing God. No, you don't try to know God, because God is confined to the realm of mystery. God is confined to the realm of impossibility. Just leave God where it is. Oh, don't try to know God. Don't try to probe more about God. And what they now do is that they will now start dishing out the knowledge of God to you. They are the one that will be describing God to you. They don't want you to discover God for yourself. They are helping you to describe God. God is a good God. God is a kind God. That is why check 90% of Christians, they live on the handout of their pastors and their father in the Lord. That is why when you see people, when they talk, my father in the Lord say, my pastor say, who is your pastor? Your pastor only lives based on the knowledge of God he has. Your pastor is only operating based on the revelation of God he has. You can surpass the revelation of your father. Let us stop all this slavery Christianity. Let's stop all this slavery Christianity. Know God for yourself. Martin Luther King, in his era, during the era of Martin Luther King, the only place you can find Bible, they find Bible in those days is in the library. One day, Martin Luther King was searching for something, and he laid his hand on the Bible. And he opened the Bible to Habakkuk 2:4. The just shall live by faith. And Martin Luther King started thinking, started ruminating over that. But the Bible did not say the just shall live by the faith of the Pope. Because in those days, it's only Pope. If Pope said God will, if Pope said Jesus will die, they will believe it. You don't even question Pope. Who cares about Pope now? Who cares about Pope? Believe me, the revelation you have is even more than the Pope now. It's more than the Pope. And that is how that man started the revolution. I said, no. The just shall live by faith. The just shall live by faith. And before you know anything, they killed him. Because he's challenging their philosophy and their theory. Every time you challenge the theory of the religious people, they kill you. They kill you because you want to spoil business for them. It's more like you want to set their captives free. Let him that glorify this, that he knoweth and understandeth me. Now look at this. Look at verse 24 again. Let him that glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. Knoweth me that what? That I am the Lord which exercise loving kindness. I am the Lord which exercise what? Loving kindness. But that is not the picture they are painting to us today. They paint God as a bully to us. They paint God as a tax master. They paint God as a mean, wicked God, as a wicked father. Look, let me say this. Any church, I said it last Sunday, and I think I should repeat it again. Any church that paints God as a bully to you, or as a difficult father to you, that church and pastor have not encountered the love of God. They've not even encountered God. Any church that tell you that you have to give God something for God to bless you in return, or until you give God something, God cannot bless you in return, that church is evil. They've not come to the knowledge of Jesus. Because there's nothing you can give God. All you can give God, God has made it available in Jesus. Your money cannot equal what Jesus Christ does on the cross of Calvary. If it is money that God needs, He will not allow Jesus to die. Then every one of us will have been struggling to use money to meet God. It's not money issue. Any church or any pastor that tell you that if you don't pay your tithe, God or any church that tell you that if you don't pay your tithe, God will send a devourer to you, that pastor and that church is a wicked pastor and is a wicked church. Do you know what they call devourer? This beer in Canada, that is what they call devourer. Which father? Sir, you are a father. Glory be to God. My children yesterday, they said, Daddy, please, we want to go and watch a movie. I gave them money. Of course, I want the best for them. Now, which father will now say, because you don't pay tithe, I will send Deborah to you. Or because you don't pay tithe, I will bankrupt your business. No. We are painting a wrong picture of the father side of God. It's a loving God, full of loving kindness. You know what they call loving kindness? Love plus kindness mixed up together. That is the God we are serving. That is the God of the Bible. How can that God tell you that if you don't give me money, I will not bless you? Or how would that God withhold some things from you because you don't give him some things? How would that God say, hey, Sosi, is that God a farmer? Because it's farmer that is sin prone. Is God a farmer? We are painting a wrong picture. Look at what the Bible said here. It's a God of loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. In the earth. You know, knowing and understanding God is a virtue that every true child of God must cherish and relish. God is knowledgeable because he wants you to know him. God wants you to know him. God wants you to know him, and he has revealed his many ways to you. He wants you to know him. Believe me, if God don't want you to know him, he will not make available the Bible. If God don't want you to know his will, he will not make available the Bible. There is nothing mysterious about God. Everything you need to know about God, he has made it available to you. Philip told Jesus, he said, Master, show us the Father. Jesus Christ said, I have been with you all this while. Everything I say, everything I've been saying, is I relate it to my Father. Now you are still saying, show me the Father. But I have been talking about the Father. The Father is a good Father, honestly. Don't let them paint a wrong picture of Father to you. A video was going viral. A woman is asking everybody to sow $1,000. That $1,000, do you know how many days it will cost people to get $1,000? If I was shocked me in one of the video, is that woman is even saying, and the pastor, and you have to vow that you will be giving your pastor money all your life. I think I have to stop working. I have to go on this full-time pastor. Where are but the Mongo Park, the Mary Slessor of those days, they came to Africa, lion eats them, everything eats them, but it's not happening anymore today. Imagine, pastor, and the pastor, we thought it's over. She called the pastor's wife again. Women, your mommy, who even introduced all this papa mommy thing in the church? Where do we see all this papa mommy rubbish in the church? Hey, your mommy, this is your mommy. You must be giving her money till you die. 7 to 7 every day. White man, they will use all your blood. And I will make that money. I will now strange things are happening before us, honestly. The Christianity of today is shocking. It's shocking. Finally, because of time, how can we balance our knowing God with our loving God? How can I translate my knowing God to my loving God? Because it is not enough for you to tell us that you know God. How do we know that you know God? Let us see it in your actions, in the way you demonstrate that knowledge. That is what helps us to know that you love God. How do I know that my knowing God has been converted to my loving God? People don't care about what you know about God. They only want to see it through your actions. I love God. I love God. Shut up. Show me through your actions. Let me see it through your actions. Praise the Lord. Isaiah 29. We are rounding up. Please just give me 2 more minutes and then we'll wrap up. Isaiah 29. Quick. Isaiah 29 verse 13. 29:13. Are you there? Isaiah 29 verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as these people draw near me with their mouths, and with their lips do honor me, but remove their heart far from me, and their fear towards me is taught by the precept of men. Look at what God is saying. Oh, they love me with their mouth. Many people today, they come to church. Lord, I love you. Lord, I love you. But their heart is zero. That is hypocrisy. That is lip service. Then what we know about God is not translating to knowing God, to loving God. We are fake. Too many times we claim we love God, not because we love God, but because of what we want to get from God. Our loving God has so much to do with us using God. If God don't promise you heaven, will you love God? If God don't promise you that new job, will you love God? And that is why today churches know that we don't have genuine love for God. They use things to bait us before God. They use things. Hey, God will give you car. God will give you this. God will give you that. That is not love. It is a dangerous and wasteful venture in life when you spend all your life loving somebody you don't know. It's a dangerous thing. You spend all your life loving somebody you don't know. It is also a dangerous and wasteful venture in life when you are loving somebody, when you know somebody that you don't have intention to love. You know somebody, but you don't have intention to love that person. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Marrying somebody you don't know is more or less you have married a ghost. You marry somebody, but you don't know that person. Maybe they send a picture. You know they do it in those days. I don't know if they are still doing it. They will send a picture from your village and send it to you. Her name is Shigose. She is this daughter of so and so and so and so. And you start loving her. No, you've not known that person. I remember a story, a deeper life story. They send the picture and everything. They say she's a deeper life. Does that, and on the night of the honeymoon, after the whole thing, the man said, honey, please off everything and let's start the action. And the man said, I can't open my hair. I can't open my hair. Yeah, it's against my religion. But the issue is not the issue of religion here. The issue is the issue of action. Action has started. I'm sorry, I cannot. That man just get angry. He just pulled the scarf or whatever. And she saw this horn. We call it Iwo in Yoruba land. She saw it in the middle of the head. I said, what is this? And the woman said, you've seen it now. You are married today, tomorrow no more. You are married today, you are married forever. Because you don't know her. You don't know her. So how can we translate our knowing God to our loving God? How can you say that? Well, I know God, and my knowledge of God has given back to my love of God. Let's see. So number one thing we can do that will help you to know, or that will make people to know that truly you have known God and your knowing God has now given back to your loving God, is your obedience must be total. Your obedience must be total. What do I mean by obedience? You don't delay obedience. If the Lord says do this, you do that. If you just stand there, you stand there. Then it shows this man really know God. And that's what Jesus Christ is saying in that John 15. If you live, if you dwell in my commandment, then you abide in my love. So you have to do my word. You have to do my bidding. Whatever I ask you to do, as long as you are doing it, you are dwelling in my law. Because I also dwell in the commandment of my Father. So I kept the love of my Father. Obedience must be total. You know what the mother of Jesus Christ told them? He said, whatsoever he asks you to do, whatever, do it. Don't delay it. Don't rationalize it. Don't think, but I think, no. God, whatever you ask me to do, I will do it. Believe me, you will grow in love for God. God will love you more and more. You too will grow in your love of God. We drag when it comes to. Let's see Matthew 21. Matthew 21, verse 28. Let's quickly take something there. 21, 28. Are you there? But what think you? A certain man has 2 sons. And he came to the first and said, son, go, work today in my vineyard. He answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went. And he came to the second and said likewise. And he answered and said, I go, sir, and went not. Which of the 2 did the will of his father, or love his father? Your first son, sir. You told him, Chigoze, go and do this for me. Daddy, I'm not going. And you called the second one, Michael, go and do this for me. He said, Daddy, I'm good. And after you left, the boy said, Wash him, foolish man. Go where? Nowhere, I'm not going anywhere. But the first guy, just, it's my dad. Well, let me just make this man happy. Let me make him happy. Let me just do his will. Let me just do it. Of course, who do you think loved the father? It's the first guy. Obedience. He obeyed, and that is the love. That is how we qualify. The proof of your loving God is obedience. Number 2, how can I know that my loving God has translated to my loving God? My knowing God has translated to my loving God. Be genuine in your devotion of love to God. Be genuine in your love to God. Let your love be genuine. Don't have a fake love. Don't have a selfish love. Don't have a mouth love. Lord, I love you. Lord, I do this. But your heart, I surrender all. But you still hold on to that your sin. You still hold on to that your unforgiveness. You still hold on to that your hatred. That is not a pure love. Love for God must be genuine. God, our love must be genuine from the heart when it comes to God, and not a lip service. Not a lip service. Not a lip service. As a child of God, you don't carry a genuine love for God in your heart. If you don't carry a genuine love of God in your heart, you will soon enter into oblivion and expired. If you don't carry a genuine love of God in your heart, be genuine. As your lift is praising God, let your heart be lifted to God. Lord, this is my heart. That is when your love your knowing translated to love. Number 3, and that is the most difficult one. That is the one the church has been failing. The third one is the one church fail. If they put the score chart of the church is 0 all over. Especially Nigerian churches is failing in this area. Number 3 is practicing forgiveness and compassion for others. We don't genuinely love others. We don't know how to translate our loving God for others. We don't love others. We are selfish with our love. We are selfish with the love of God. We are selfish with the love of God. You cannot truly love God that you don't see if you don't truly pay attention to the people you see. You can't truly love God you don't see. I love God. I love God. How do I know you love God? They should demonstrate it through the people you see. The God you don't see and you claim you love, but the people you see, you can't love them. Then how can you love the God you don't see? How can you love the God you don't see? When you love yourself and other things more than loving God and others, then your love is a misdirected love. When you love things and other things more than loving God and others, then it's a misdirected love. That love is wrong. You love yourself. It's you yourself. It's more than loving God and others. It's a misdirected love. Loving yourself and other things more than loving God and others is a selfish, hypocritical love. Loving yourself and other things. You love yourself and your personal comfort more than God and other people is a selfish, hypocritical love. The greatest human problem on the face of the earth is a love problem. It's a love problem. And the love problem is more than, it is either you are loving yourself more than God or others, or you are loving other things more than God. That is the greatest human problem. The greatest human problem in the world today is love problem. It is either you love yourself and self-comfort too much, or you are not loving others as yourself. You have to fall into the one. It's either you love yourself and your self-comfort too much, or you are even not loving your neighbor as yourself. And you know one thing? Then you don't love God. Let's see something and pray. Matthew 25, finally. Let's see something and pray. Please, let me show you this and then pray. Matthew 25. In this kind of teaching, we don't even need prayer. It's a demonstration. It's a practical thing we have to demonstrate. The issue is not prayer in this kind of a teaching. It's not prayer. If you are now praying, oh Lord, help me to love you the more, it's not a prayer. It's not a prayer. Help me to love you the more, it's not a prayer. You have to make up your mind to love God. God cannot help you to love him. You have to make up your mind. I don't think the day you love your wife, you didn't say, hey, God, help me to be loving my wife. You just make up your mind, I love this woman. And that love start growing. Now, Matthew 25 verse 33. Please, I will round up there. Are we there? And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, that's on the judgment day, and the goat on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, you blessed of the Lord, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was stranger, you took me. Naked, you clothed me. I was sick, you visited me. I was in prison, you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hunger, and feed you, and are thirsty, and gave you thee drink? When saw you as a stranger, and we took you in, and naked, and we clothed you? When saw you sick or in prison, and we came unto you? And the king shall answer and said unto him, verily I say unto you, as much as you have done it unto one of the least of this my brethren, you have done it to me. Simple. We don't have to talk much of that. As long as you have shown love to the least of these people, believe me, you have shown love to me. You have shown love to me. Are you showing love to people? I love God. I love God. Don't be your love for God should not be confined to church. Church don't need you. Your love for God is not needed in the church. Your love for God is needed outside. That is where you should demonstrate it. But what do we do today? Every Sunday we gather. I love God. I love God. God said, go out and demonstrate it. Show it. Show and show love. I was watching a video this morning. I was crying. Honestly. A pastor telling the students to sow 500,000. Where would they get that money from? Sow 500,000. If you sow 500,000, God will bless you. God will bless you. Students, I have never seen anyone that God bless as a student through seed and not through reading. You have to read this book. It's not a gospel. You are scamming. You are a scammer. You are scamming people. That 500,000. After you collect that 500, you put it inside envelope and you fax it to God. Is it? Who will use that 500,000? It's you. So why are we projecting wrong image of God everywhere? You say, as long as you have done it to this little one, you've done it to me. The love you want to show to me, show it to this little one. Simple. Let's rise up to a bit. Lord, I give you my life. I give you my soul. I live for you. Hello. Every step that I take, every moment I wait, Lord, have your way in me. Lord, I give you my life. I give you my soul. I live for you. I live for you. I live for you. Hello. Every step that I take, every moment I'm with. Lord, have your way. Lord, have your way. Lord, have your way. Can we translate it to prayer? Lord, I give you my life today. I rededicate my life. I pour out my life as a living offering to you. Lord, use it to touch life. Use it to move life. Father, the essence of loving you is to love others in return. That is when I truly love you. That is the way I can demonstrate your love. Lord, give me this revelation. Let this revelation become so strong in me. Lord, you are not a seed God. You are not a money spending God. That is not the essence of Jesus dying. We are perverting the death of Jesus. We are painting Jesus a wrong. We are giving a wrong image to Jesus. Lord, help us. Lord, help us. Lord, change the mindset of our generation. Let them see you more from the perspective of a father, more from the perspective of the love of the father, more than from the perspective of putting a demand on you and trying to make some demand out of you. Lord, you don't die. Jesus don't die for us to meet our need, but Jesus dies for us to draw closer to God, to reveal God more and more to us. Lord, help us. Lord, help us as a church. Help us as an individual. Help us. Thank you, Jesus. In Jesus' name we pray. Let's bring out our quality seed.